What's good, everybody? Um, just love the game. Back at it again. I'm Ray.
Marco.
Today, we're going to talk about Game 6, obviously, Ace Bailey. And we also want to celebrate the 1 month anniversary of Love the Game. So first, Marco, what were some things that you liked about Game 6? I know a lot of people were saying it was boring, but I feel like there are some interesting takeaways.
Um, for me, I mean, I know it was a blowout, but it was like far from boring just because I didn't really expect this, if I'm being honest with you.
Mhm.
The Thunder, I think sometimes people overrate experience in a way because like a team, like it matters to a degree, but every team has not won a championship at some point that eventually does win a championship. So like if like it's not like we have the same team winning year after year after year. It's been a long time since we've had repeat champions. So like we've seen a bunch of teams bust through. So like past success like hasn't really dictated like future success. So I think a lot of people tend to lean on that a lot. But this really did look like a team that was just like inexperienced last night. Yeah, I know they were on the road. I expected them to play much better than they did. They ended up hitting eight threes all day. And to be honest, when like looking at it after the game, seeing eight, that number feels way higher than it felt like watching the actual game because they hit a couple garbage time threes toward the end of the game. I know Jay Will had two, um, and I think Isaiah Joe also had two. Yeah, Isaiah Joe also had two, and Cambridge Williams had one. So you add those up, that's five threes right there. They hit like three real threes during the actual game, and they turned the ball over 21 times. And that team that functions so efficiently by shooting the three ball efficiently, even at a lower volume, and not turning the ball over, that's just they look like a young team, and they haven't for a lot of this playoff run. They've really done a good job handling business, and last night was completely unexpected to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, the weather situation was pretty bad, so I ended up watching a lot of this game on my phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
my TV kept cutting out. Like I probably watched like 75% of the game on the TV, but I had to keep switching back from the TV to the phone, and that was frustrating. So this was probably like the least locked in on a game I've been just because it was like switching TV,
Yeah,
phone.
no, I get that. I
I
get
missed
that.
like small parts, but I mean, if there was a game in the finals to miss like bits and pieces of it, it was definitely this game
Yeah,
because I don't know, there wasn't much takeaways. It was just one team just completely didn't have it. And the Pacers, it felt like it was a really nice team attack from them. They had one, two, three, four, five, six people scoring double digits. Obi Toppin had 20. This has been a huge series for him.
yeah,
Like
bro. Yeah,
him being able to sit in the corner and play the dunker spot is just opening up the offense so much, especially next to Miles Turner. And I
yeah,
thought Halliburton looked way better than I thought he would, especially after the MRI revealed a calf strain.
yeah,
And Siakam obviously played well. He has pretty much this whole series, and Gordon Nemhard had another nice game. So I really nice team effort from the Pacers with this season on the line, and Thunder completely collapsed.
yeah. And also, for those who don't know, we're based in the Philadelphia area. It's been a lot of like thunderstorms, a lot of rain. So yeah, like a lot of it's been a lot of technical difficulties for sure. But I wanted to ask you before I gave a couple of my thoughts, specifically on the calf strain. Like how I know you're about to practice medicine and stuff like that. So like um people were saying that this injury was originally supposed to be like a 2 week injury. I wanted to know if you can kind of like um talk about more about like just how this injury can affect you both positively and negatively, but also like I guess you could say how great Tyrese Halliburton has been handling this injury, I guess throughout this series.
Yeah, I could give some pretty solid insight from an outside perspective. It's really hard because like the strain first of all is like tearing of the muscle, and the MRI revealed like what grade the strain was, like how severe the tearing is, and they said it was like a couple week injury, which means it was probably a pretty low grade sprain. I mean strain, and it's hard to know because there are a couple muscles that could have been strained with the calf. So the one is like the one where it's like closer to the Achilles and that like wrist and Achilles tear. There's like another muscle of the calf where it's like not where it's like it probably wouldn't limit his functionality as much, but it was just pain. And because we're not involved with the team, they don't release which muscle of the calf it
Yeah.
is, like the
Yeah.
severity of the strain. And that's not just like a Pacers thing. Like I know some people are like, oh, they didn't release it. Like when Embiid had an LCL sprain against the Celtics in 2023, like they said it wasn't a grade one, but they didn't tell us if it was grade two, grade three. They just said this would be an injury that takes a couple months. So we like as fans, we just don't have the luxury of like truly having like an in-depth insight into like what it is like a team would. But
Mm.
so it's hard for me to like I didn't know what to gauge like as far as expectations for Tyrese Halliburton for this game because like when you have a tearing of the muscle, your functionality is going to be limited to some degree.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like what to expect, and he looked really good out there last night. I figured anything like involving jumping, like a jump shot or like exploding into a drive or something like that, where it really involved your calf muscle, might be limited. But he looked like he was moving well out there. You could tell it doesn't seem like he's still generating like the same amount of separation he does like off a hesitation dribble.
Yeah.
But, like he still seems hesitant to shoot, and I feel like the jump shot, like with a lower leg injury, is the thing that seems to be impacted the most because like your base is less stable, and that throws off your jump shot to like to the left or to the right. Um, so yeah, I just thought it was really impressive. Like I really didn't know what to gauge his expectations because how bad he looked in game five. He looked really nice in game six. So I really don't know what to expect for game seven because we've seen both sides of the coin. And without rest, the strain is something that is like most likely going to get worse over time with continued usage. So
Mm.
it was really important for him to only to play 23 minutes last night. And I thought that was like my biggest takeaway was the Pacers not only winning, but winning in dominant fashion and being able to not put too much wear and tear on Tyrese Halliburton. I thought that was super important too. And I thought that was super underrated.
Yeah. I mean, bro, that was an amazing breakdown. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I kind of like similar to my takeaway, the Pacers, I expected them to really come out swinging. Obviously it was a game six, so I wanted to say Pacers, but I knew kind of in the back of my head like anything could happen. I'm glad that the Pacers did pull out that game because now, it's a game seven. You'd love to hear that in sports. Um, and I really liked how they did exactly what they were supposed to do, which was stopping the Thunder's pace. Immediately after that first fast break, I really liked how the efforts of like Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard. I loved how they immediately kind of cut that lead down, and then even Tyrese Halliburton at times, like they just gradually just built their lead, and eventually OKC. I feel like it was kind of interesting because every time they played in Indiana, it almost felt like their energy would, or like their will would slowly kind of go away. And you still saw that in game six. I was really surprised that Alex Caruso didn't play as well as he usually has been playing this series. He finished with a negative 33, um, or minus 33, excuse me, which is, out like unheard of for his standards. So I feel
Yeah,
like
Jimmy set the record. I don't know if you saw that with a minus 40.
that's crazy. That's
There's nobody's ever did that in a finals game.
generational defense by the Indiana Pacers tonight. They really proved why they belonged in the finals again, which is something that we've been saying on Love the Game. Um, and yeah, like I said, game seven, I feel like it's gonna be a toss up, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. Um, so a part of me wants to say OKC is gonna win in seven, but you can never really doubt Indy, bro. You can never doubt them, bro.
Yeah, I
Like
feel the
every
same way.
time I think they're out, they always come out swinging, bro.
I feel the
He's
same way.
McConnell again, Sixers legend. Shout out to him, bro.
Yeah, he's
Like,
had a great series.
yeah,
I would definitely lean Thunder too though, especially like being at home. Like I don't know, like it's hard for me to imagine they come out looking as bad as they did last game. Like
yeah, I
every
get that.
time their backs have been against the wall, it's felt like in these playoffs, whether it be like earlier in the series or like in Game Seven against Denver, they've
Hmm.
always came out and responded in pretty dominant fashion. And I feel like they probably do that again, but I want to share a stat with you because I just thought this was amazing. I like stumbled upon it last night because I was talking to my friend. I'm pretty high on Halliburton. Like I like believe he's probably somewhere like around like the 12 to 20th best player, probably around like 15 in the NBA.
I get that.
Like and like he seems to think he's way worse and like gets mad when people have him higher than me. But I was like talking to him about it, and I'm like, I think that this team is just showing that like you don't need like the top five player to win the championship. And this is the stat I stumbled across. They have 8 players averaging double digits after the last game, and none of them averaging over 20. Pascal Siakam is the highest at 19.8, but then you have Halliburton averaging 14.8, and then Obi Toppin averaging 12.8, and then you have TJ McConnell, Miles Turner, Andrew Nemhard, Benedict Mathurin, and Aaron Nesmith all averaging somewhere between 12 and 10 and a half points. And I
Yeah.
just thought that's amazing because that's like right there, those 8 guys are all like averaging over 80 points per game, like combined in the series. And like, yeah, I just thought that was amazing. Like,
No,
it's not
like,
often you see
bro,
a team that deep where they're able to like not only play 8 guys plus, but like 8 of those guys also are averaging double digits in these
yeah,
finals.
yeah, bro. Like, it's so crazy because, like, honestly, when you told me that stat, it's not surprising to me because of just how team oriented they are, bro. Like, we talked about Obi Toppin. Like, he can have games where he'll score, 8, and then he'll have like consecutive games where he'll do like 15, 20, and there'll be key points that the Indiana Pacers needed to win. And even when it's not nice that Obi Toppin would take over, you credit, guys like TJ McConnell. He was big both in game 4 or game 6, and what was it, like game 4
Game 5, he had
or
like,
game 5? My
well,
fault.
they ended up losing game 5, but he still had a huge game 5. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like and then nights where it's not TJ McConnell's Pascal Siakam, and then you have Tyrese Halliburton. Um, and the roster, like you said, they're very deep. I feel like as long as you have like, at least 7 guys that can put at least 10 on the board, it's a really interesting team. Um, So like, yeah, bro. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, like I said, like game 7, first finals that we've gotten to really talk about, like since we were probably kids. Like, I don't know. You have a favorite memory from the 2016 finals in game 7?
I was rooting for the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie. So that was
Really?
kind of like, yeah,
Really?
I wanted I wasn't the biggest Brown fan. I kind of grew up more of a Kobe fan. And like Brown, like he turned me in like 2018. I was kind of just like, why am I like
I
hating on
get
this guy?
that.
Like he's so great.
Yeah.
Like he's the greatest player I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like why am I hating on him? So now I'm a huge Brown fan. But I was rooting for the Warriors because I really liked Curry. Like I was like sort of getting into playing basketball myself. It was like smaller guy. I'm only 5'10", like super inspirational. I'm like, damn, like he's making a career because he's like obviously great at many, many things, but his like most like prominent skill is shooting the 3 ball at like such a high volume. Like very few players were doing that back then, especially that efficiency. And I just thought that was amazing. So I was a huge Curry fan. I was really rooting for him. So I was like sort of just upset. I remember I was like getting mad at Curry at times because I was like, oh my God, please take over the game. Like I saw Kyrie hit the side step. I was like, Curry, please go down and like shake somebody and hit a big three. So that was like kind of an upsetting game for me. But like, yeah, I mean, it was like still like great to witness greatness. I wasn't like had a huge rooting interest, but I was leaning toward like Golden State. Um, but yeah, there's kind of just like watching Brian rip my heart out and just like seeing how good he was. Like I think that was probably my biggest takeaway. My like probably like my most prominent memory was I still remember the block vividly, bro. Like seeing him chase down Iguodala, I was like I
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
silent. I
yeah.
was like, oh my God, I can't believe you hawked that down. I thought that was a layup. Iguodala, Sixers legend, so I was rooting for him too.
Cap, no cap, bro. Like kind of similarly to you, like I was probably rooting for the Warriors. Like, so when they lost, I was just like, dang, like that's crazy. But like I understood the impact of the moment. I think one takeaway that I had was like specifically where you said with the block, right? I remember I think like 2K13, or I don't know, it might have been 13 or 14. It was the year like Iggy left the Nuggets to go to the Warriors. I remember they released a screenshot and it was like, actually I think it was LeBron blocking Iguodala like on a dunk. And I remember, like, like you said, Sixers legend. So I'm like, what? LeBron's not blocking Iggy, like what? And then now, like, a couple years later to see that literally happen, I remember I was like, dang, he really blocked him. Like, that's crazy. Um, so yeah, like that, like definitely like one of my biggest takeaways. Shout out LeBron, shout out all the guys on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, so yeah, like it's really crazy now to have history kind of repeat itself. Specifically though with like new faces, and arguably like I've been telling my girl like this whole time, like this is the fight for like the future of the NBA kind of like who's gonna be the guy to be like, I'm on the top of the hill. You guys need to come after me now. And on some like LeBron, 11 straight finals type energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like it's really interesting to kind of like think about that. And I don't know, man, like a part of me thinks this score is gonna be close, bro. Like,
I think so too. I don't think it should be a blowout.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Just excited. I'm excited for game seven. I wanted game seven. I don't even care that my prediction's wrong. I wanted seven. So I'm
Yeah,
happy about
bro.
that.
Yeah, bro. And honestly, bro, like even in this close game, I feel like we're gonna see some like magical shots, bro. I feel like both Shea and like Aaron Neesmith specifically, I think we're gonna see some absurd shots like that are made, bro. Honestly.
I selfishly want an Isaiah Joe game. I know he's been like kind of getting played out of the game on defense. I hope that
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I hope he hits like a couple big threes in the game
Oh,
because they have given him a chance. I hope he gets another chance and
bro, how many
get a
Sixers
top
are
five.
in the finals this year or former Sixers? It's what, TJ?
So TJ Bradley. I think Jaleel Okafor would technically get a ring too because
Yeah, I
he was
saw
part of
that. I
the
saw
rotation.
that. Yeah.
Is there anybody else on the Thunder that I'm missing? I don't think so. But four feels like a lot though,
Yeah,
especially
bro.
because TJ's been such a prominent part of the team. Tony Bradley has saw the floor, and Isaiah Joe they tried to go to him. It hasn't really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm happy for all of them, man. Like I don't know, like it might sound crazy, but just watching them
No,
out
I
there,
get it, bro. I
because I
get
still
it.
got an emotional attachment to them.
Yeah, specifically like TJ and Isaiah Joe.
Yeah,
Like to see them in the finals, I think is just like, man, like it makes me upset because I wish we could have that experience. But to see guys that actually contributed to our team do something great on this level, like I'm gonna be happy regardless who wins. So
yeah,
and that's definitely like something I'm happy about. Um, and then, kind of moving on where we could talk about Ace Bailey. I feel like, I feel like because all this stuff always happens to the Sixers, I'm just like, it's kind of like it's the way of life.
mm-hmm.
I'm I'm not really surprised that he's not trying to work out with the Sixers per se. I am surprised that like, the whirlwind of the media is kind of making its way towards Ace in this type of way. But I don't know, like what were you thinking now? Because we talked about it on the pod before, but now it's just like it's a different type of, I guess, reaction now.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's weird to me is like, look, I get trying to take like some type of control over your career, like because like if you go to a team that like you don't think you're a good fit with, like they damn near have you for 9 years, and like
Yeah, Darren Fox type.
right, so like a lot of really great players have like tried to do that. The thing that's weird to me is he hasn't met with any team. So it's like people say he really likes this team, he really likes that team. He like it was out there that he didn't want to go to the Jazz. Maybe he likes the Hornets, maybe he doesn't. Like, why hasn't he like met with the Hornets? Like, especially after we met with VJ Edgecombe, why wouldn't he meet with the Hornets?
Yeah,
Like, or like, why wouldn't he like meet with us, have like an amazing workout, and then like try to get like teams to like trade up for him, right? Like, because the thing was he was saying like he wanted a promise, and that's been like debated, like whether or not he actually wanted a promise for us. But if he did was willing to do the interview to like get a promise, why wouldn't he just do the interview anyway and like have a really great interview even without a promise? I don't know if that would be like embarrassing to do the interview and we not interview workout and we still don't draft him. It's
yeah,
just I'm not really like mad at him. Like I see a lot of fans like really angry that you want to do the workout. Like, bro, if you think that that's what's best for your career, look, I'm an Ace Bailey fan. Like I had a really great time watching him this year, so I want him to succeed.
yeah,
And more than I would say for most prospects, like everybody says they want all prospects to succeed. He's a guy that I'll be watching, like no matter where his career is, hoping that he does well.
yeah,
And as an Ace Bailey fan, I thought Philadelphia was the best place for him. As a Sixers fan, I was absolutely terrified because the process with him, like decision making and stuff during the game, was very scary to me. So
mhm.
I was very cautious as a Sixers fan. I'm like, that's my guy. I'll see it through if we draft him.
I feel you. I feel you.
If Daryl Morey still thinks he's the best prospect, which to me it hasn't, like he doesn't feel like a Daryl Morey guy, then I don't think Daryl Morey would have any trepidations about drafting him, even after he canceled the interview. Like Curry didn't famously didn't work out with the Warriors. He wanted to go to the Knicks. Look how
Yeah.
that worked out.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum didn't want to be a Celtic. I think he skipped the interview. Um,
Oh yeah, he thought he was going to Phoenix or something like
yeah,
that. I think he wanted to go to Philly too, bro.
he skipped the interview too. And look how that turned out. He's a champion. He's won. Feel bad for him, but this year he was a top five player in the NBA. Like, hopefully he comes back and is still a top five player. But he has been a top five player for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And Curry, like top five player of all time, in my opinion. And they ended up in places they didn't want to go to. So maybe Ace Bailey's wrong. Maybe this is a great place. Maybe he. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really like ever since I heard that his agent is Sharif Cooper's dad. All due respect to Sharif Cooper's dad, Ace Bailey is the only NBA guy that he has. So it's not like Sharif Cooper's dad has real leverage in the NBA. So even if he did receive a promise from like Washington, it's like you won't slip past six. I believe the difference between Philadelphia drafting with three and Washington drafting with six is around $10 million on your rookie contract.
Hmm.
That's a significant amount of money that he
Yeah.
would be losing slipping to six. And also, Sharif Cooper's dad doesn't have the leverage to the fact where if Washington lies at six and they draft, like, let's say Jeremiah Fears and you fall to eight, it's not like he has an abundance of guys where it's like, oh, we can make Washington pay for this because we're not sending anybody to Washington. Like if Ace Bailey was at clutch and they were like, we received a promise, so we're skipping the workout, I would feel much better from an Ace Bailey perspective. Like nobody's gonna screw clutch over. I don't
Yeah.
think teams would have any problem with screwing Sharif Cooper's dad over. So
Yeah.
now I'm kind of just like I'm scared for Ace as like a fan of his, um, because I hope he has the right voices in his ear. Because like obviously I don't know, they could be right, they could have a promise and the team fulfills the promise, but this is a scary situation and I don't know why he hasn't worked out for any team. Even if he has gotten like a promise from some team, like he didn't go out to meet with them. He hasn't met with any team. I know we interviewed him at the draft combine in Chicago, and I'm sure a
Mhm.
lot of teams interviewed him. So like the meeting for us doesn't matter. If we like him, we're still going to take him. We didn't meet with Maxey. We didn't meet with McCain. Morey drafted them both. Canceling the meeting right before is weird, but he didn't get the promise. Like the fact that he was willing to do the meeting makes me think that yeah, he probably didn't get a promise before time and canceled it. That's what it feels like because I just don't think he would have scheduled the meeting at all if he was really that much against going to Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah, I
that.
don't think this changes Morey's process, and this doesn't really like. I don't think Ace is a bad guy. Like I saw like some people call him a loser today. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like,
Yeah, bro. He's just
oh,
a kid. Like he's just a
he wants to be great. I can't be mad at
kid.
that. If he thinks another path is like more better for him to be a great player, like that's not a loser mentality. That's
Yeah.
a
It
person who's
reminds me
betting
of
on
like we used to play my career growing up. Like, you know
yeah,
what
I
I
wanted to go
mean?
to a bad team, get the shots, and make them a champion. Like, how could
Yeah,
like, and
yeah. I
that's
get
like
it.
that's me messing around. That's not somebody's actual career where they're like betting on himself. I had no problem with like I thought the process is weird, and I hope he has the right voices in his head, like Aaron. He's making the right choice, but
Yeah, no, me too.
if he didn't want to go to Philly, like I hope you do well where you're at because I understand it. Like we like even though Embiid's probably gonna miss half the games and Paul George will miss a lot of games, like Maxey's still taking shots away from you, McCain's still taking shots away from you. It's like you really think you're gonna be a star and want to bet on yourself, like why not, right?
Yeah, nah, bro. I feel you, bro. I feel like Philly would be the perfect place for him because I mean, you're definitely gonna get shots, bro, because we don't know what's going on with our team. We don't know. So I mean, I don't know, like regardless of what happens, I hope they get Ace Bailey. If not, I'm way more comfortable now with drafting VJ Edgecombe because at least he it feels like he wants to play for Philly. Um, but you never know. We could draft Khan, we could draft Trey Johnson. I'd be perfectly fine with either or. So
As you brought Trey up, like it's weird to me we haven't heard anything about him. Like I know we did a video interview with Khan, but even if it was just a leverage play to bring Trey in and be like, oh, we had a fantastic workout. Does anybody want to trade up and get Trey Johnson? We really like him. Like I just don't know why that even hasn't happened. I've
yeah,
kind of like talked myself into VJ more than Ace. Like I knew the whole time it was the smart pick, but like thinking with my heart, I wanted the guy who I
yeah,
had
I get you.
watching play, even though I am somebody that really values high field players, and I'm like, if I was really put in this chair to make this decision, it would be hard for me to actually like draft Ace. I would probably value a trade down. But I don't know. The more I watch VJ, the more like I really watched his stuff from the Bahamas where he had more spacing and stuff, and
Mm,
I thought that that was really interesting to look at. That made me think much higher of him, and like listening to people who know more than me talk about his jump shot mechanics and them being pretty high on it also made me higher than on VJ because I don't know if it was too much anchoring bias, but I was worried about him actually shooting the basketball.
mm.
But if they believe he can shoot the basketball to the next level, then like who am I to tell them no? They know way more than me. So I think he's the smart pick. So I'm kind of leaning VJ. But I'm like this doesn't make me feel any different than I did last podcast about Ace Bailey. If I'm being honest with you, like last time I
Me
was like
too. Me
I was
too.
leaning VJ. I'm still leaning VJ. But like I think it really comes down to intangibles and like what these players like have told the team because we have talked to Ace. We've scouted him all year. He's right across the
Yeah, he's in
right across
Jersey.
Rutgers. He's right there. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make me think any different. But I like what you said about I like what you said about Trado. I just don't know why we haven't like brought him in because
I
all that
mean,
we haven't.
you know, it's the draft. It's not like we don't know who he is. I feel like there's been a couple instances where we've said we're gonna draft one guy and then we draft a guy that we haven't even looked at. I think that's happened with at least like four top picks in recent memory. Like a lot of them,
The
bro.
leverage, not even like to get more intel because I don't think it's going to give you that much intel. But yeah, I'm just surprised. Like, because what if the Hornets really like him? And it's like, oh my god, that like Sixers might draft the guy we like. Like, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
trade him a
yeah.
little bit. I don't know. That was the only thing. It's just the leverage.
But yeah, bro. I mean,
Who do you feel like you're leaning toward right now?
bro, I mean, at this point, man, I'm leaning towards a person who genuinely wants to play for Philly. Like that, like you said, like I feel like since last pod, my opinion hasn't really changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Ace Bailey wants to play for Philly, hey, come on, bro, we're gonna root for you. If VJ Edgecombe wants to play for Philly, hey, bro, come on, like we're gonna root for you. You know, I feel like players in Philadelphia thrive if you actually want to be here. You know, so if there's a prospect that is showing that he wants to be in Philadelphia, as long as the fit makes sense, like I'm perfectly fine with it. Because there's a lot of variety in this draft, right? We can use our pick to trade down. We can use our pick to even select the guy that we want. We don't really know yet. So like I'm just trying to keep my mind open. Trying to have I'm trying to have a better perspective of the situation. Um, because anything could happen at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would say like my heart really is still with Ace Bailey because he fits the needs that we want and he's skilled. Um, but if I was being realistic, like I would genuinely not know what's gonna happen because I could see scenarios where we trade the pick down, or if we just draft a guy. Like I can see any kind of scenario happening at this
Yeah.
point. But you know, um, other than that, it's uh it's officially 1 month since we started Love the Game. Um, so we want to really thank everybody that's supported us. Um, Cole, you can say a little bit if you want to, but I wanted to know like what's been your favorite I guess moment of Love the Game thus far, even though we're 1 month in.
Um, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a moment, but my favorite thing is just like watching myself grow because this wasn't I didn't realize like how different it would be like talking like on a podcast where you gotta articulate all your thoughts and feelings versus like typing them out because I'll usually like make a tweet about something. But
Yeah,
like coming onto the podcast, just like seeing my growth each week when it's like articulating my thoughts and my feelings. I think that's been my favorite part. It's like trying to improve because I really like trying to get better. And this was like another thing to like try to like work toward and get better at. So just like feeling my comfortability and stuff changed like from pod to pod. I think that's been my favorite part was just because I didn't know how much growth would be required for this. So I think that's been the
yeah,
most like fun part for me.
yeah. I
So,
mean, yeah, bro, like kind of similarly to you, I didn't have a lot of experience in the podcasting world, I guess from like a host perspective. Like I've been a part of like production and behind the scenes work. So I knew how those type of things worked. But I remember just talking to a couple of people that I knew from Morehouse, shout out all those guys like, like Kobe, like MJ, like Justin. I could go on, Josh. Just like a lot of people that I've been talking to about just potting. I've also loved the journey that I've had like in doing this pod with you. Because it's like, bro, like you said, seeing the growth and seeing like, oh, okay, like this is how we should do this. Like it's been fun. It's been genuinely a lot of fun. Um, and like it also makes me motivated just for the future because it's like, dang, if we're only like 6 episodes in, like we both know like our pod is tough. Like we know what we're talking about. So like once we just continuously get reps under and like figure out how to make, I guess, like the things that we have going on in the pod easier, like the sky's the limit for us, I feel like. So it's just, yeah, bro. 1 month, would love the game again. Like we want to thank everybody, especially like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, friends, family that have been showing us love, keeping us motivated every single day. Like I know you probably gotten text messages, like I've gotten text messages from people, so it's just we appreciate that a lot, and we're motivated more than ever to keep on going. So yeah, I don't know, you got anything else to say, bro? Like that's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just happy you asked me to do this with you because I've been talking about like I wanted to do a pod, but like I don't know, sometimes I just be like bullshit and like I like wouldn't follow through with it unless I had somebody else be like, yo, like let's really do this for real. Because I have like other things that I'm like interested in and like taking like I don't know like a risk or whatever to like do this. Like probably wasn't gonna be in my plans unless I like really had somebody else who was serious about doing it. So I just appreciate you like reaching out and being
Thank
like
you, bro. It
like
means a lot.
means a lot actually. Like I'm having a really good time doing this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Dang, bro. That definitely that was nice, bro. Thank you. Um, so yeah, just we're grateful for everybody, man. Honestly, genuinely. We're trying to do this for the city. We're trying to do this for our friends, family. So we love that we're trying to put the right message out there, and we love that people are seeing what we see. And we're gonna be here for a long time, man. So yeah, bro, love the game. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, bro, thank y'all for real.